MLZ wants to make more horsepower. So we talked about this in the last video about the engine, and we got some parts in from our boys over at Racetech Pistons and AFR. Scat, guys. Check these out because we upgraded to a ding, 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 billet piston. Let's check it out. We got the guys over at Racetech Pistons because that's the original piston that's in there too, right? And said, hey, we're looking at making this thing 15 to 1. All right? It is 15 to 1. I have not opened this box yet. My secretary, Sue, opened the box because she's got to see what's inside the box, even though she has no clue what's inside the box. But she opens up the box, make sure there's no paperwork in there or whatever. So I have not even opened this up to look at it. Joe, did you want to look at the billet pistons?
I do.
Kyle, you want to look at what billet pistons look like?
Obviously, I want to see what these drift spec pistons look like.
This is Drift Spec Pro
Pistons.
R1. Or
Maybe I could take some notes for my drift spec small block.
maybe you could dig,
you go.
yeah, yes. Okay, ready?
Whoa.
Whoa, piece of paper. All right. So let's see, you just open it up. Locks, okay, got it. Sticker. Do appreciate these guys because to rush out a set of actual billet pistons, they could make the billet pistons quicker than they could make a regular piston. Because the regular forgings were blah blah such and such behind whatever.
Yeah,
So
don't grow on trees, unfortunately.
yeah, so I said, all right, man, let's just do this the best way humanly possible, which is what we're looking for here. Total sealed rings, of course. Pins. Oh, crud. Dog's eating paper. All right. Here we go. You know,
Wow.
it looks exactly the same. But they did, yeah, it does, but it's not, because you can see this is all machined in here. That's a really minimal dome difference too. That's interesting.
Definitely is
That-
a difference, so.
Yeah, you can see the pocket. It looks deeper, but it's because the dome is higher.
Yeah,
Interesting.
You look close. It's machine marks everywhere you look.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what I was gonna get at is, so we can see that this is fully machined all the way down here. I know this is a billet piston because we went back and forth on, it's gonna take longer to get a forged piston than it is to do billets. I said, okay, are the billets better? Obviously. I said, well, just to make those then. And so they did. So how a forged piston is done is they take this ingot of aluminum. Okay, imagine this is just a round piece of aluminum. They go, and they punch that thing down, and that's what leaves the forging. So they forge the inside of it. So it is the positive forging die that would come in here, the shape of the inside of the piston, and squishes it all together, forges it, bada bing, bada boom, all done. Okay. Billet is just a piece of material, and they make a complete piston out of it. All right. So
They
that
feel
is-
really beefy and thick everywhere.
oh yeah. Okay. Now your immediate question is, oh my gosh, are you going to balance it? Yes, we're going to balance it. Can you show us how to balance it? Yeah, I'm going to show you how we balance it. How about that? So we're going to take piston rod off the old one, pin, and I'm going to show you how we're going to balance this thing. Then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the hone. Then I'm going to show you that we have to send these out today to line to coat the skirts. Now, I think we'll talk about the coating on the skirts when I get over to the hone. All right. So let's compare this. Let's get one off the old one. Oh, and I forgot. And we got Isky lifters, because remember, the whole deal is this thing just had one random lifter that gave up the ghost. Okay. No bad springs, nothing. Everything was great in it. Just go back to the other video and look at it. The thing was sweet. But one lifter let go. and didn't even break or anything. It just started to go, and they caught it, which is great. So now lifters here from Isky, Easy Rolls, the pistons, and we're keeping the camshaft. We're not trying to upset the entire apple cart. We're just going to add compression ratio to this basically. So let's get this thing apart real quick.
And Freddie said he was okay with 15-1. The tuning is going to be all right.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that Freddie's overall opinion. Nah, he did. He said it was cool.
Oh no, that
And it
that
doesn't
is
look like a
taller.
ton. Huh?
It is taller for sure.
Oh, I can see it's taller.
Yeah.
And the rings were all happy, but we got a new set of rings here for it anyways. So we'll get this off and we'll kind of compare it. I mean, I don't think you're going to hardly see any difference visually because what they have all the forging, what the shape is, what everything actually is in a CAD file. So they're just duplicating what the forging is, but out of billet. So I just, the whole thing's all said and done. It's kind of interesting to do. It's got a cram lock in it, which are
Fun.
less than fun. They're super easy to get out and like stupid hard to get in. There you go. Okay. Gonna have to get a little something. It's made a burr on there, so. Hey Joe, can I beat on your snap-on socket with a hammer? It's a plastic hammer. Get this. Oh. Scat rod. We'll put rod back over there. Feels great. Okay. And we're going to weigh the whole assembly together. So here you can see. Oh, we can do a guess and see what people think it is weight-wise difference. I'm gonna say 15 grams. All right. Well, here, look at it real quick. Did you hear what I said?
15 grams?
Oh. Well, you can't say 15 now. Don't say nothing to Kyle. We'll see what he says. You can weigh it too. You can weigh it, Nate. Nate's used to holding the camera all day long. You can figure out what it was.
I'd say maybe 10 grams.
You're at 10 grams. Hey, Kyle, come here.
It doesn't feel significantly heavier.
All right. How much?
Which one's
What does it weigh? What is the weight difference? Is there a weight difference?
Yeah, I think the billet one's heavier by
Okay.
like not much.
What's not much?
That's not very descriptive. What's not
wanna-
much?
Like
Enough?
10 grams.
Joe's already got 10.
What am I not allowed to guess 10 too?
You gotta guess 11 or 9, I guess.
No, this is like the price of right. You got
All right, I'm gonna guess 11
Okay.
because I feel like there maybe is a difference, but
All right.
Feel pretty close.
logically you would assume that there is a difference because of the way a forging is made and the way a billet is made. As far as density of the actual piston, making it way different, even though they're the exact same size.
Like you have forged billet.
And then this one does have a bigger dome, so it would have to be a little heavier.
Yes. Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
The whole design of the piston is essentially identical, except for the fact that one has slightly higher dome pocket or
Yeah, everything's the same.
and billet.
Yeah, I'm sure the pin should be the same. Yeah, okay. So anyways, if you look down in this piston, so that is the Race Tech forging number and logo. That's all forged in there at the same time. So stamps it in there, and then they only machine parts that they have to machine. Here, there's no number because you can see all the tooling marks, everything that's in there, to do that same thing. And it feels, oh, that's a little different radius there. This is definitely machined and this is more rounded, but that's the same. It's interesting that they have this cut here, but that's probably because the forging has a bigger radius right here, and then they have to come down to cut for the clearance of the connecting rod. Here, they're just coming through with the tool and going right, and just making it perfectly flat. So there's actually, I like that better. That's actually a nicer feature because there's a cut right there that isn't there. All right, so let's go measure this up. We're gonna grab one piston pin. We gotta get this other cram lock out of here. This cram lock. Okay. All right, so I unpackaged the pin, and actually they did send me a different pin. It is slightly thicker, which is definitely going to be a heavier pin. You can see the hole diameter is different, so a bigger wall pin right there. So, but we have a bet going on what this is just going to weigh piston wise, and then we have a ring pack, spiral lock, or locks, and then this is new pin to new piston, old pin, old piston. All right, let's go back there and weigh this up. CNC machine's running in the background here. Oh, this is making a front motor plate for the Deal Brothers. All right. All right, so let's do old piston. There's nothing in it. Okay. Let's set 0. All right. There we go. No doubts. All right. I was even going to say probably 17 would be closer, but whatever. Okay. Let's do pin. So let's do the old pin. So that's 17 grams. And there's the old pin, old piston. Whew, that's 16 grams heavier. So that's going to be a 30 gram heavier.
33, yeah.
33 heavier. I'm actually thinking about that because I don't think it needs this heavier pin in it. I'll call him up and talk to him about it and see if it's a different material, if something else is going on. Because obviously this pin is hanging in there perfectly fine. And there's not much sense adding a bunch more weight if we don't have to. If it's not a strength issue. So that's what our total weight difference is. So I'm pretty sure rings are all going to weigh the same. Let's see, we got rings. That's 49.6 versus, what the heck? How is that possible? What the heck? Am I missing one here? 1, 2.
Nope.
2 rails. Oh, the support rail. My bad. I forgot the support rail. There you go. Yeah, exactly the same. Okay. So everything's exactly the same. It's just a matter of the piston. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go through and I'll show you how we calculate the bob weight. So everything is simulated on it. Then we're going to put the bob weight on the crankshaft and then spin it with that whole flywheel assembly on it. And you know what, Nate? I think we're going to spin it with the flywheel assembly on it. Then Adam has gotten rid of that whole setup. So I'm going to have to cut the freaking flywheel bolts out of it and take that whole flywheel assembly off because he's got a one-piece flywheel ring gear now, like I asked him to do. And so we don't any longer have to have that all welded on, which is great. Just adds a little more to it. So, but what we'll be able to see is we'll spin it, see where it's at, Yeah, we'll spin it, see where it's at. Then I'll take it off, cut that off, and then spin it again and see if that whole flywheel assembly was out of balance. All right. So let me show you how this is done. All right. So how a balancer works. I'm going to give you the quick overview and not do a full balancing video, but this stanchion right here and this stanchion right here have electronics in it basically that measure vibration and pulses. So if something's out of balance, it's always out of balance like whoop, similar to that, okay? Or maybe it's whoop, whatever, all right? It measures and knows where that what is. What, okay? Now we spin these things up at 500, 700 RPM. We always balance at 500. You can spin faster, but when you see this spinning on here, if you haven't seen this before, it's in my intro video of crankshaft spinning. It is scary looking, and like don't stand beside it because it's scary. All right, but now, so that's what's going on here. It is actually measuring what's going on. All right. Now let's go over here and build a bob weight. Oh, also people always have questions. What does internally balanced mean? What's externally balanced mean? Yada, 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 yada. This is internally balanced. What internally balanced means is that everything that balances the crankshaft is internal. It's inside the engine. External would mean that outside of the engine block, maybe back here or up here, is weight, some kind of offset weight. There'll be small block, 400 small block Chevrolets, all big block Chevrolets, except aftermarket. Okay, we're just talking stock. Fords, it usually always have some kind of external balance on it. Everything race oriented is internal balance. That way, this just weighs 0. It should spin perfectly fine and have no balance weight added to it. If it was just on a shaft, just a straight shaft, it's internal. This is for internal balance. There's no offsetting weight anywhere. All right. So let's go over here and start working on our bob weight number. Now there's some parameters and stuff I got to enter into the computer. I'm not going to bother showing you that. Okay, we're just going to go right down to the nuts and bolts. That's how the balancer works. It's driven by this belt right here over the center right here. There's a motor down here. Pretty self-explanatory. Variable rate motor, and that spins whatever speed I want to. Interesting to know, this thing will not turn 100 RPM without any weights on it. It will come out of the machine, hit Nate, knock the camera down, and have to buy a new camera. It'd be terrible.
Sounds like worst case scenario.
The worst case scenario is I got to buy a new camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so engine name. Oh, this is SOB's LS1. Engine name. How do we go back up here? All right. Cody just came over because I don't balance the crankshafts much anymore.
What he does.
Cody does. So Cody just showed me how to bring up his old bob weight information. So everything now will be here. Now we go to here. The bob weight. That's what all the previous numbers were. Same numbers as what was in the history file, but it shows you, and we can go in here and change it and do stuff. So this here is a bob weight. This bob weight is simulating the piston, connecting rod, all the weight that's hanging on here is what it simulates. All right. Now I have a big full long balancing video, so I'm going to cut a lot of this short. All right. So this is simulating stuff. All right. So we need to make this weigh. We're going to enter in how much is the big end of the rod weigh. Well, not even going to bother because I already know it's 573. The insert is 48.4 grams. Gives us a total of 621. Now this is rotating weight. And we throw in 5 grams for oil and how many rod throws on each journal. So that's the rotating weight. So you take all of the rotating weight, everything that rotates around on it, you take all of it. All right. Then we go over to reciprocating weight. So what reciprocating weight is everything that goes up and down. Okay, so rotating, reciprocating up and down. Now, on reciprocating, we're going to enter in the small end of the rod, the piston weight, the pin weight, the lock weight, the ring weight for a grand total. And notice that the reciprocating weight, so it's doing 2, so it's times it by 2. Why this does this, but a reciprocating weight factor is 50. So long story short, this is going to be a slightly confusing. We take everything that rotates, 100% of what rotates, and only half of what goes up and down. Why do you think that is?
When one's going up, another's going down.
Correct. One's going up, one's going down. Okay. So that gives us our 50%. So it just means we're only putting one piston, one pin, one ring, one small end of the rod. Okay. So slightly confusing. So we're going to start weighing this stuff up. We'll enter in our piston weight, and then we will make this weigh what the bob weight says to make it weigh. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Understand. All right. So we know, and I have made a executive decision that I do not want to add another 16 grams. I'm going to use the old pin in here. So that would just give us a 17 gram difference. Well, this will be interesting for you guys because to see what 17 grams in bob weight does and how much it wants us to remove, or what makes 17 grams balance. Think about it. Is it going to be 17 grams that we have to change the crankshaft, or is it something different? All right. So our piston is 622.1. So all of our rotating is exactly the same. Not going to bother with it. So the rod small end is the same. No big deal. So piston weight is 622.1. 622.1. Dang it. Back. 2.1. Enter. 622.1. The pin is going to be 213. We already know that. Well, look at that. 213. Hold on. 215. That's 200. What the French toast? So this is the previous bob weight number. This is interesting. I think we are going to have to go back and recheck our rods and the rod and stuff. 2.8. 2.8. All right. Rings with support rail. 49.8.
27.
49.7. He's got 49.6. So this watch this scale. Okay. Don't freak out about a tenth of a gram. All right. There we go. So that's right. We need to go grab a connecting rod and see what the French toast is going on. Here's how we weigh the rod. Do you want to weigh it half of the rod, or well, it's on a balance beam. Let's just put it that way. All right. I'll just show you instead of explaining it to you. So get this over here. Just kind of get everything lined up right. So nothing's putting any weird load on anything else. There we go. All right. So let's make sure our scale is 0. 254.8. Let's see. So to be perfectly 100% clear, okay, this is one of the minor things that I try to get across to people on balancing in particular, is this. Okay, watch the scale again. it is the most minuscule amount ever that changes in these grams and stuff, and it doesn't matter. These little teeny weeny things just don't matter. But we still want to do the best we can, and we do that. Okay, the best that can be done. All right, so that's 255.9. So we're just gonna call it 260. He had 257. So it is 1 gram different than what we are right now. So we're just going to change that. And I'll just make it 255.9 for the sake. 255.9. There we go. Now let's weigh this big end of the rod. Now the big end of the rod's a little bit different because when you take that off, put that there, hit 0. And then we just flip this thing around. All right, and we are at 573. There we go. So I'm coming up with, it was slightly different. I come up with 566. I have wondered if you've ever taken a car across the scale at the racetrack, have you ever known, pay attention, they weigh different amounts every time you go across it, day to day. Because of why?
Could be humidity.
Maybe a little bit. Barometric pressure.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes
It is the actual air pressure. Hence
changes.
barometer. Yeah. So barometer changes. So I've wondered that myself if that would be something. But let's just go ahead and enter this in. So 566. I think, maybe because we're coming up, we were a little bit light.
I mean, there'd be no
I
way.
didn't weigh the old piston because I have what it weighed the last time. That'd be interesting to see. If everything is just slightly less, everything across the board is less, that has mass to it. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if it. Yeah. All
I
right.
mean, so far everything's been lowered.
Yeah, just a slight bit lower.
Is there a way to
So-
change that, really,
No, I don't think so.
or a way to control it at least?
Well, it's that much different. Is just that's what we're getting at. Is such a minimal amount that the air pressure changes it.
Right.
Very possible. Just like it changes the weight of your car when you go across the scale. It might change 10 pounds, depending on what the day is.
And how much you ate.
Yeah, well, yeah, no. Exact. Okay, so that's there. Well, let's weigh this insert and see what it weighs. Bearing insert, 48.3. See, those numbers are exact.
The smaller the number, the more accurate, or the closer it gets, it seems.
Well, that's why I was talking about mass.
Yeah.
Your car weighs, if you put 10 pounds across the scale that your car goes across, I don't think it doesn't weigh 10 pounds more. Yeah, well, yeah,
Right,
that makes
yeah.
sense. But your car, which weighs 3,000 pounds, weighs
Might
10
weigh.
pounds more. All right. That makes
The
sense.
percentage difference.
Yeah, percentage difference. All right, so that's right. All right, everything's good. Cancel, 48.34. Not going to bother changing a tenth. Let's check our piston just for kicks and giggles. So what the piston used to be is 605. Yeah. Where the piston is now is 615. Yeah, so that's right. Our total bob weight number this is our total bob weight number. 2364.3. I need to make each half of this bob weight this, and I don't like doing it this way. To tell you the truth, I think that sucks. I just want to do it all together. So I need to make this bob weight weigh
2364.
2364. So this is the last engine. This is the LS bob weight right here. All right, let's take those off. Those go right here. See how we're starting to stack up weight pretty good here. All right, 2174. Now you do have to add equal weight to both sides. You can't just put all the weight over here. I'll show you why in a second. All right, that makes sense. 33. 53. You got a 63?
64.
64.
4.3 is the number you're looking for.
4.5. Close enough. Now, the other good thing here is now that this whole bob weight is made, I can duplicate these are all precision. These are precision cut and ground. So they weigh the same, so I can just physically put the same number of weight and the same size on, and then just do a quick check, make sure they're the same, and then keep moving. So I'll put this on, I'll show you how this works, and then I'll make these others off camera. Alrighty, I have all of the bob weights are now on the crankshaft. So check it out. Okay. Looks crazy because it is kind of crazy how this all stuff works. Okay. Now, what is important? My buddy Randy Neal that owns CWT Balancers or Industries probably is gonna be mad at me for saying this, but sorry Randy, if you're mad. We cannot make a perfect bob weight. We can't do the absolute perfect simulation of piston and rods going up and down at all sorts of RPMs. There's oil flailing around there, air, there's horsepower, pressure, misfire. I mean, there's just all these things happening. So there is no such thing as perfect. You cannot make a perfect bob weight, the perfect simulation of this, because there is no perfect number for it. All these numbers here are what has been calculated out and what's been figured out, tested, proven to be the best that you can get. Okay, because there is no perfect in these kind of applications. There's no way to simulate all that. One thing that we do though is to be consistent, and that was the whole point of just to be consistent. Is we get number one rod up on top dead center. I always orient the bob weight. See this little bolt is pointing this way, not that way. I'm just consistent. So I set it up. This thing is level. Then I put this one at exact 90 right here. Okay, exact 90. You know, I just square everything up. Okay, exactly 90 there. Same direction. This one, 180. This one here, 90. All right. So there you go. So you'll be able to see that this leveled out. Okay. There to there. Level. Okay, dope. All right. And then that's level and that's level. Now we're going to spin this bad boy up. So let's close here. And we are set up at bing, bing, bing. That's fine. Bing, 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 bing. Motor. Where's the 500 RPM?
RPMs. Right there.
Oh, right there. Yeah, but that's what it is. Or am I supposed to enter that? So let's go 500. Not 50. It won't even let you balance at 50. Whoops.
That's a lot of weight. I might have to.
All right. Do not
So I
stick.
can turn it up. You got a lot of weight.
Oh, I got you. So it wants to. We got to turn this up, the motor, till it's at. There we go, 500. It'll hold it consistent. Also, I didn't put any lube on it. Heard that one squeaking right there. Let me spin this again. After I put the lube on there. There you go. Oh, see? That little bit of lube now makes the thing spin 528 versus 500. There we go. All right. Interesting. That is 66 grams out in the front and 24 in the rear. That one is a problem. Now, what we're gonna do here is I'm going to take that this whole assembly off before I balance this crankshaft, because I do not trust that that is zero balance. The only thing that's not in here in the front is this keyway, but that should be pretty darn minimal. We'll go get the keyway just to spin it in anyways. But all right, you see how this thing works, how balancing works? What I'm going to do is that much weight needs to come out of the crankshaft right here. All right, then 24 grams needs to come out right here. Everything is right vertical. Now, since this is on here, I'm not going to do that. I think that anything that happens back here will and can change what goes on in the front too. It's not just some non-attached thing. You know what I mean? A change out here does change what's up here too, and vice versa. So it's not just some isolated incident back here. All right, so let's get this flywheel off of here and then check our balance. I'm officially putting in my request to not do the skin, please. I put a small hole here. So these are shape of the bolt head, and then they lock in there. And then the small bolt hole is, so you just drill, tapped it, put a little bolt right there, Loctite the bolt in, and then this would never come off. And then the bolts are impossible to turn when it's locked in this plate. So this is a royal pain in the buttski. All right, got that off. All right, so finally got the old flywheel assembly off. Now, one thing that I just noticed and remembered was we did a bob weight because we wanted to have that bob weight information in there, but we didn't have any spin information because we didn't actually balance this crankshaft. I forgot. And you can tell because these are pieces of Mallory metal that have been installed in the crankshaft. And we could not install this in the crankshaft if they already had SCAP written across it. So I remembered, it's like, oh, that's right. They balanced the whole assembly. So we might have to have a little talk with their balancing department if that's the case. Well, we shall see here. Now we are a little bit lighter, which all makes sense. So let's see where we're at. Now everything's all the same. Everything's there. It just does not any longer have anything in the back. Pretty darn close to the same. Pretty close to the same. All right, that's one part is good to know. There you go. Still want 64 grams out there instead of 66. And wants, it's going to be really hard. It did change my position over to here, which means I can either remove material here, which is impossible, or I will add some material 180 degrees difference from it, or you just hit add. All right. Or if I just hit add right there. So I need to add a little bit of weight right there, 28 grams, and remove weight right there, 66 or 64 grams. I'm gonna really think about this one for just a little bit, but since I know this is right, it's repeated a couple times now, so I know that you always go after the heavy end first to get this down some, and we'll kind of see what this keeps on moving this one down to see if this front is just out to lunch. Interesting. I think we're gonna talk about this later. So I'm processing this all right now. So I'm gonna just come in here. We'll drill a hole here because we're removing it. And I'll cover this up. Come over. So you can see here, I drilled one hole right there. All right, which is fine, no problems. And now we are at 26.57 in the front and still 28.43 in the back. I was dead wrong. Get proved wrong all the time. It did not change anything in the back. It did change the position of it though. So now the position's even a little bit worse. So, you know, now it wants to, yeah, right here. Just, it keeps on coming over this way. So the only option here that I have is to add a piece of Mallory metal, or add a piece of Mallory metal right here where it's asking it for, right there. Now what I'll do is I like to simulate it. So I know this little bolt assembly weighs 30 grams. I'm gonna have to put a piece right there. So I like to just make sure that it comes around correctly before I waste all the time to do that, to have it not work. Now let's just kind of see what it does, and then I can go after this front because I have Mallory metal. That's 39. Like a 1/2 inch piece of metal here. So this 1/2 inch piece of Mallory metal right there. So if you guys don't know, this piece of Mallory metal weighs 68 grams. But the hole that it replaces only weighs 30 grams. So the tungsten / Mallory metal, they have it rated at 65 grams. My scale is measuring 68. It might be just a tick longer. And then it replaces 30 grams, which is a net gain of 35. So it's going to be a net gain very close to what we're looking at doing. So that will be fine there. That's the piece that I'll put in. I'll show you how we do that. And we're going to get this thing balanced. And ironically enough, it's going to be better than what it was before. So I feel good about that. Hence, this is the golden rule. Never make an assumption. It just makes a beep out of you and me. I shouldn't have made the assumption that it was correct. You should have just spun it up anyways. Because it is definitely 60 grams out in the front. So this is definitely just going to be better. All right, so we'll do that. Now we can spin that and just see what it does. But as I take out material on the front here, if this gets down close, then what I can do is I know that I'm basically changing that much in the back, and then I'll just keep working this front real quick to get it closer. Not all the way, don't ever take it right down to 0 and then do something back there. But I am going to get a little bit closer so you can see where it's at. So just that piece of material right there made this thing go to 7 grams in the back and 25 in the front. And it was 26 in the front, so it didn't really change much. Let's see if it changes the position. Yeah, it changes the position because that was the position before. So that's kind of one of the little things that it always does, is it kind of jacks around with positions and moves things around a little bit. So it looks like that's plenty doable. Now the other thing that I'll do here too is if it puts me in a position where I can't drill the hole real good, I'll actually put it right here in this conway. So what that does is, this is the most effective, this is secondarily effective. It just means that it takes more to change here when I drill it there than it does when you do it here. So 20 grams here, removal, I kind of have to remove like 30 grams here, but it has the net effect of 20 grams. Okay. All right. So we are going to have to, and let's see where we're at here. This is, oh, yep. So see, that's going to be just a tick heavy, which is perfect because I think that's, yeah, that'll be great. Because if I'm a little tick heavy here, that's good because then I can just drill a little hole and get it right down to the next one up. Okay. So let's get this thing up in the machine here, and I'm going to show you how we do this deal. All right, so what I got going on here is you can see that put the crankshaft in the Bridgeport here, and in the vertical mill, and I want to put the Mallory metal in from the side this way. So we're adding material this way. I'll show you how this all works. We're going to drill a hole and then fill the hole with metal that is actually heavier than steel, tungsten. So here is a steel 1/2 inch, slightly smaller, but slightly longer. All right, 68 grams, 36 grams, and it's longer. This is heavier material than steel. Something like, aluminum and steel. Aluminum is lighter than steel, right? So we will drill this hole, and then we're going to ream it. All right. One through hole. Now let's put a reamer in there. All right, so you can see that I just ran the reamer through there because I want to have a perfect size hole that I can press that in there. So I'm gonna go press this piece of Mallory metal in the crankshaft, then put her back up in the balancer and spin it. All right, I got it back up in the machine. You can see right there. Press it in. All right, nice, flush, super happy. Ain't ever getting out of there, ever. So let's see if we can balance this up. Now, I'd like it to be a little something that I can remove material right there on this end. I still have to remove material over here. I already know that. This is not changed over here. So it should come up 26, 28, something like that. On this side, hopefully it comes up maybe 10 or less. 5, perfect. All right.
I'm 21. Went down.
5 and 21, yeah. This is a good learning opportunity. It wants me to remove material right there, which basically means it wants 5 added 180 degrees opposite of it down here. Okay? But the problem is it wants me to still remove 21 right there. All right? Now, first, let's drill a hole because this presents a serious problem if you do not fix that. All right, we're getting very close here. All right, now, 2 things that you just saw me do there. All right, one is, well, it's still on the same side. I drilled 2 holes right here because it was asking me to put a hole right in between these 2. And I told you that I had, and I just did a little mark right there or something. And we're down to 4. Now it still wants me to take, now it wants me to take 4 out. Oh, buddy. Okay, that's good. Right there. All right. See, we're all balanced to tolerance, but I want to be better than that. And I'm going to show you something here. Okay. There we go. So that's at 2. And then there is 4. Same freaking side. All right. You guys might be saying to yourself, he has to put those keyways in there because it's going to screw up his balance. Well, we're going to show you exactly how much it does screw up the balance. Those 2 keyways right there that are missing weigh 8 grams. Now, the closer something is to center, the less it has an impact, less it weighs. Keyways in 8 grams, right? It's 4.2 grams. Let's see what this thing changes it. Caramel. 5.00, so 0.2 of 1 gram. So 8 grams right there, because of the diameter, how far it's in, it's nothing. It probably can't repeat that. So, okay, now I'm going to explain something to you that is going to. This is a problem, okay? And I'm going to make this worse and make it way better. Okay, so we were 5 grams out in front, 4.8 I prefer to say, and 2.3 in the back. But notice they are on the same plane. They're in pretty much the exact same spot. Okay, right there. They're in pretty much the exact same spot. This is really complicated, but what happens here is when you have, here's the center of the shaft, okay? Now, when you have weight here and weight here, they're opposing.
Riding a bike.
It's like riding a bicycle, okay? Everything's in balance. Now, here's the center of the shaft. Put the weight, regardless of whatever it is, it's weight. It's 2 grams and 4 grams. Put both up here. Go pedal your bike with both wheels or both pedals on the same side, okay? Not opposed from each other. Guess what it does? It goes wah, wah, wah. And guess what a crankshaft does when the weights are not opposed from each other? It can be equal weights, and that's perfectly fine, way within tolerance. But those same weights, if they're up here like this, it does exactly that. Hops up and down. So I'm actually going to remove material here, and I'm trying to get it to be like 5 grams out over there. The opposite direction, the opposite way, 5 grams out to make it match. Because once that matches, it's perfect. Sits there and hums like a hummingbird, okay? Just really nice. Okay? So, and that's a pretty minimal deal right there. Does that all make sense, Nate?
That all makes sense.
I don't want it to intersect that hole. And it's going to take next to nothing to do this. And I don't want to make things that look ugly. I guess I could grind it a little bit, but I think that sucks. All right. You got a feeling that's probably only, it might have only been 2 grams anyways. It's probably 0. So I just want to get it on opposite sides. And if they're very, very close or exactly the same opposite sides, perfect. Oh, see? It's very close. Check it out. Check it out. Oh, what's up? Winner, chicken motherfucking dinner. But I think I'll do it one better. This is perfect. I would typically just leave this, but for LZ's sake, I'm going to make that. We're going to, let's see. Okay, well, actually, we are going to leave it. So, but it's very good because it's on opposite sides. So the crankshaft is spinning correctly now. Your bicycle crankshaft. Good illustration. I think that was actually Randy's illustration, wasn't it?
I wasn't here when he did all that.
All right. Well, it sounds good. Yeah, can't grind anything there. If I really was, just absolute fanatical, I would go and grind some here, but I'm just not. Because you need to take into account, this one is, there's just nothing to do on this side. Except, ironically enough, I didn't drill that hole, but that is the spot that it would need to be. If I was supposed to add weight, it would need to be right there. But I definitely do not want to go in there and add a little bit of material, because I'd have to weld it. I can't just add 5 grams. It's next to nothing. So we're getting really close on this thing. So good illustration, piece of paper. I'll fold it up for you. A full piece of paper is 5 grams. Actually, it must be heavy paper. That must be a heavy stock.
There's some staining.
It's full of oil.
Yeah.
Because I know it doesn't actually weigh that much. But anyways, well, that's a piece, that's like a piece of paper flying around. Okay, that I can't do much with. So this thing is far and away, as Youth of America says, certified ripper. Right here. Does the Youth of America say certified ripper?
I think it's just Kyle.
Just Kyle?
Just
No,
Kyle.
I hear other people say certified ripper too. Okay. he's like the Youth of America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now crankshaft. Excellent. Done. One last thing we're going to show you on this deal is the cylinder hone, because you got to see this thing because it is super cool. Let's go over here and hone LZ's block. Before I forget, you wanted to know, I guarantee you somebody's going to go, what about the coating? You're going to spray a coating on there and that stuff is going to add like 2 grams. Okay. Yeah, it is going to add probably about 2 grams because you got to keep in mind, this thing is, they're going to make it, I'm going to have them make it 5/1000ths of an inch thick. Okay. So this is literally a piece of paper that is only about that big by that big on each side, divided in half. Okay. Don't worry about it. It's 0. It is absolutely negligible. It is 0. And the whole point of it is that it wears off. It only fills in the crevices and fills in area that it's supposed to be staying in. So half of it wears off. It's probably less than 1 gram. We'll just say 2 grams. Which would be 1 gram, and then half of it wears off. It's half a gram. Can't even measure it. Okay. Now over here to the cylinder hone, because this is one of my prides and joys. Here is LZ's block. We have the torque plate up on it. I got Cody to set this thing all up for me. I wanted to show you this because this is Diamond Hones. All right, so, and full CNC. Now, so we come over here. And we're gonna get this in the hole. All right, we'll bring it down there. We've already set up the vertical limits of it. We're going to feed stone. Oh, no. There you go. Hold on, you stop. All right. That go off. Now, what it did right there is it ran the hone stones out to 0. Okay, so it just touched off. Now I'm saying, I really just want to do a touch hone. I think I'm going to take off, well, let's see. I'm going to remove, 0.0002. 2 10,000ths of an inch of material. All right. All right, ready. Now, what this hone does, because it is a modern marvel of ingenuity here, is I have time and time again verified this machine. It actually hones very slow because of the diamond. And so it is measuring the cylinder bore for straight, and it has just removed 2 10,000ths of an inch. And how nice this cylinder bore is, you'll see it here in a second. So now what it does is it goes down, make sure it doesn't crash before we do anything, before it starts, cuts it off again, and it only will take it to the exact same size as that hole. And when I say exact, I mean mother cussin' exact. Okay? It is the same. We have done this again and again. I don't know how this machine does it, but it is as bad as the bad gets. Oh, and you see right there, you didn't see it because your camera was on me, but you probably heard it. It actually picked up probably like 1/10 or half a tenth of paper. It stopped and took the paper out and then moved over. Now, what this is doing too is this is the because we do a plateau hone. So everything is plateau hone. You want to know more about that? Let's go to one of my other videos on honing and how this machine works and how a plateau hone works and what it looks like in the oil groove and everything. So we come back through with the finished hone, which is it only knocks off the peak. So I am explaining it to you, but I gotta make it quick. So if you look at the microscopic cylinder bore finish, okay, it's like this. Sandy, okay, has valleys, has peaks, valley peak, valley peak, valley peak, okay. The hone stone, the plateau hone, comes in and just knocks off the peaks and leaves the valleys. The valleys hold oil for your rings and for your piston skirts, knocks off the peaks so it doesn't do any damage to the piston ring and promotes ring seal. Okay? This thing is just the coolest thing ever. And if I want to go, okay, you know what? Look at that. I think I want to take out that little mark right there. There isn't one, okay? But if there was one and I go, I think it'll probably come out with one more 10,000ths. I can sit there and punch in 1/10 of a thousandth and it'll do it. Freaking crazy. So, good machine. If you want to buy one of these, they're not cheap. Call them up, tell them I sent you. Well, it's constantly adjusting pressure to make sure that it is making the cylinder bore perfectly straight. It's crazy. So now this side is all done. I'll change stones in it to the plateau hone, and it goes in. It's all done. I think it's super cool, and it looks freaking-tastic when it has. This is because it's left all the peaks in it. It looks like that, but when it runs the plateau hone across it, it's like smooth, but not. Okay. Anyways, that's it. I think that's it for the video. So you've seen how we had to fix the balance on LZ's crankshaft. You've seen the difference in the bob weight. You've seen how the bob weight works, how the piston works, what we're doing there. 15-to-1, baby. How the cylinder bore works. So I gotta send these pistons out the line to line like right freaking now. So as a matter of fact, too freaking late. I already missed UPS, so I'm gonna have to send them tomorrow. Anyways, remember, like, subscribe, buy some merch. Oh, I seen somebody left a comment. What, Steve? No merch plug? Well, here's a merch plug. Go buy some merch. Helps us out. I appreciate all you guys. Just showing you the process, how things work. Have a great day.